So we've talked many times about, hey, you can always file an insurance claim. People always say that when a business gets broken into, a restaurant gets broken into. Yeah, but that's what insurance is for. Up until a point. And then you got the issue, oh, yeah, you are uninsurable? Sorry about that. Yeah, well, we've got that exact situation going on here in Seattle. After crime crisis cost him his insurance, business owner, he's fighting back. He is vowing to stop paying taxes in protest in Seattle. Let's get into it. Here we go. Let's start with this video. This is a really good example of some of the craziness we're seeing in Seattle right now. We've got a lot of shootings going on.
Only on Como, North Aurora Avenue turned into the Wild West with a barrage of bullets, sending several people scrambling.
Go out into like a field and do like the Midwest style shooting or something. Like, don't involve everyone else out here.
As you see, several rounds went off, jolting neighbors in the middle of the night.
It's scary to think how much damage a gun can do.
This man lives nearby. He says it is the second time in only weeks he's had to hunker down from outside danger.
Our next door neighbors have like 2 children, right? 2 little kids. And it just kills me inside that they have to listen to this.
Seattle police tell Como a woman was shot in the leg in this incident, but should be okay in the long run. All as police try to figure out what led up to this gun battle.
This is a major North American city, Seattle, Washington here, and we're having, shooting on this corner over here.
Peter Toms owns an electronics store nearby.
What's the shooting going on about? It's like, why are people shooting at each other, I mean, wouldn't we like to know that?
No arrests have been made in this case, with several businesses now punctuated by bullets.
Just stop. It's just rude.
And talking about the overall scene there, Seattle police tell us they found 30 shell casings at that location. As a result, they say it is just truly amazing nobody was hurt or killed.
If you've been following those scenes for long enough, that is gang violence right there. That is gangs that are running. It's either gangs or it's prostitution, because you've got ladies of the evening all up and down Aurora. And it's not a good scene. We've allowed this to happen. We've allowed the criminals to take over. I mean, that looks like something out of, I don't know, some kind of gang crime movie, right? Just bang, bang, bang. That's Highway 99. That's Aurora. That's a major arterial right through the heart of Seattle. It's a little bit north of downtown Seattle. I mean, you just got some nuttiness going on, and the business owner is like, "Oh, I'd like to know what's going." You got a bunch of gangbangers running around shooting at each other. That's what you've got, and they're fighting over turf, whether it's for drugs or for the ladies. That whole thing, right? Whole thing. So it's not shocking that a local small business owner is losing his insurance policy after 3 years of unfavorable loss due to claims made after tens of thousands of dollars in damages due to the crime crisis. In protest, he exclusively told the Jason Rantz show on KTTH that he won't collect taxes for Washington unless he's able to find an insurance company willing to cover his business. So here's what happens. You've got a commercial policy. Your landlord will require you, if you're renting space in a commercial building, your landlord will require you to have a commercial insurance policy, because they don't want tenants in here that are uninsured. And so you got to have a commercial policy. If you don't, then you're in violation of your lease, and you can be just 86'd out of there, right? So people are under this understanding, just insurance will go on forever. Well, Narv Sheth, he owns 4 brick and mortar small businesses across the Puget Sound region. He said the vandalism and break-ins are constant, forcing him to submit insurance claims to help cover the surging costs of repair. This is Seattle. This is exactly what's going on. And at some point, the businesses have to basically say, "Uncle, we're done. We're out of here. We can't take this anymore." So that's exactly where this guy sits. But he's going to be forced out but on June 27th, Sheth said he was informed by Allied Insurance Company that he's losing his coverage. His last day under the policy is September 29th, 2024. The decision comes after filing claims totaling $133,000 over 3 years. That's just a no-go. You can't run a business in a city where you've got that going on. San Francisco, no different. Areas of Portland, downtown, no different. You've just got shenanigans happening left and right. And people are like, I don't really understand why why are people shooting? Why don't they just have one of those Midwest shootouts, right? Did you catch that? Midwest instead of just the Wild West? Not Midwest there. Yeah. But this is Seattle. So people don't have a lot of sense of geography because we're so far upper left USA that it's like anybody, a little bit further that way it's all Midwest. His decision comes after filing $133,000 in claims. This didn't even cover all the incidents his business has suffered. So he's still out of pocket a bunch on this stuff because you can't claim all of the losses because otherwise this is what is happening. You will lose your commercial coverage, and then you will lose your ability to keep your lease. You lose your office. You lose your space. You're done. You're done. The reason for non-renewal is due to your unfavorable loss experience in 3 years. So sorry that you're located in Seattle. That must suck. So unfortunately, we're going to have to not renew your policy. Without insurance coverage, Sheth is left vulnerable. But he said if the state won't protect him from a crime crisis Democrats created, he won't support the government. Those are fighting words. And you know what? We see comments every single day. Well, don't pay your taxes then. But then the reality is this he's going to lose his businesses and he's probably going to face some criminal penalties. He's probably going to get arrested. He's going to go down that road of insolvency and maybe having to battle this out in the court on criminal charges. My business locations will not collect any sales tax, will not pay any payroll taxes, will not pay B&O taxes, will not pay for business license or any other forms of taxes to this Washington state government until they fix the issue. They're not going to fix the issue. They're okay with this. They're like, big city crime. Not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Just file an insurance claim. I don't have insurance. Well, if my small businesses are going down, I will not go down without a fight with this corruption, Sheth declared. Okay, those are fighting words. And, I commend this guy for doing what he's doing. But at the end of the day, he's going to give up his businesses. You don't pay taxes and you make it public like this, then the state's going to know, oh yeah, this guy isn't paying taxes. Let's go after him. There's been extensive vandalism to Sheth's auto repair shops. So for example, he's got the muffler shops in Des Moines, Silver, and Gig Harbor. His employees have been attacked. According to surveillance footage, his employees have even had guns pulled on them. Well, you got a lot of that going on. You've got a big blue run. Western Washington has a ton of crime going on right now. Seattle has a ton of crime. We've got shootings out the what. It's nuts. Here is another story. 7-year-old among group of juveniles. Don't worry, we'll get back to the business owner. But just to give you an example, 7-year-old among group of juveniles wanted for robbery in North Seattle. Seattle police are searching for a group of juveniles, including a 7-year-old who wielded a hatchet during a robbery Monday afternoon. Police said it all started on board a Metro bus. That's great. Yeah, use the Metro. It'll be great. Traveling through North Seattle. Same exact neighborhood here, right? According to a police report, some 5 victims told officers that 10 to 15 suspects started taunting them because of their race and perceived privilege. They're white kids being taunted by not white kids. The victim stated that one of the suspects told the victims, you don't deserve the things you've got. So he pulls out a knife, goes after the kid. 7-year-old brandishes a hatchet. Police say one victim opened her clutch purse and female suspect grabbed out cash inside. I mean, you've just got nutty scenarios going on because you've allowed criminal activity to just flourish. You defunded the police, you don't have enough cops, and you've decriminalized a lot of what used to be felonies into misdemeanors, and the criminals know that they can get away with all this stuff. Breaking and entering, grand theft auto, not a big deal anymore. Misdemeanor. And that's if you get caught. Even if you get caught, you won't get prosecuted. Crazy thing in downtown Seattle, there is not enough jail space to basically arrest and prosecute all of the criminal activities happening in our open air drug markets. They flat don't have the space. So they can't, the police, no, they can't arrest. They can't just load up all the criminals and stick them in jail because they physically don't have the space anymore. So it's like, okay, yeah, how about we work on that as well? Instead of funding all this gay pride stuff, how about we go back to the basics? You know, more jails, more prisons, that kind of thing. Oh, we don't want to do that, Sean. That's racist. All right. Well, and this is the show you've got here. This is Seattle. You got the gunfight at the 𝗥𝗘𝗠𝗦𝗢𝗥 happening on Aurora in just North Seattle. So after his Italian restaurant in Normandy Park, that is further down south, kind of South Seattle area. After that was vandalized a third time, Sheth announced that he was running for Congress to take on incumbent Democrat Marilyn Strickland. You know, if you listen to the Democrats, you wouldn't hear much about any of these stories because they think everything is okay. They're okay with this because this is on them. We haven't had any Republican leadership here in Washington for a long, long time. It just doesn't happen. So you've got a lot of policy that where business owners are just left basically to their own devices, like not paying taxes. Yeah. Sheth, a former Marine, said that without his insurance coverage, he won't be able to keep his locations. If I don't have the business insurance, my landlord will kick me out. They already sent me a notice saying that if you don't get the insurance by this time, you'll be defaulting on your lease. That's the way this goes. You got to have insurance policy. Despite being on the verge of losing his insurance, Sheth said that he doesn't blame them. This isn't even the first time his business insurance policy renewal was denied. Yeah, I don't blame the insurance company. It's the state's policy. They introduced defunding the police and decriminalizing the drugs. So those are the factors where we had property crime go high. And you've seen that all across the United States. Cities where they decriminalized drugs, decriminalized basically crime, defunded the police, haven't been able to, and then totally, took a huge dump on policing in general as a profession. And now nobody wants to be a police officer. So they can't recruit them as fast as as police officers are retiring, making lateral moves, or moving to cities where they didn't defund the police and they didn't do all this crazy stuff. Because where would you want to be a police officer? Someplace that's just absolute chaos, or one where they appreciate policing and they want to pay you, good money for doing what you're doing in an already safe environment. Where do you want to go? You want to go to a place you can get shot where the criminals that you arrest aren't going to get locked up? No, probably not, right? Cops aren't dumb. They can figure this out. The numbers are basic. So they're going away from areas like Seattle. This lawlessness has contributed to all this, and Washington state administration should be liable for this. Absolutely. Somebody came up with these shenanigans of laws, but this has been continuous. This has been continuous over time, and things have just gotten out of control. So now you've got a scenario where you got to blame somebody. Yeah. Who are you going to blame? Well, only politicians in sight, Democrats. So what are you going to do there? Yeah. That's why I do want to file a class action lawsuit. Okay. I will stop paying Washington state government any form of taxes. That's not going to go well. Sheth said he's looking for another insurance company to cover his business, but he's not having any luck. Small business owner reached out to an insurance agency in Portland, Oregon, but the advisor told him, I don't have a market for a business with this many claims. I advise in the years to come, you consider not making claims under $10,000 until your loss run gets cleared up. The guy's just had so many significant claims that he's needed to stay in business. He's needed to use that insurance. And that's what so many folks don't understand, that there is a limit, even on commercial. It's like your car insurance. You wreck enough cars, you total enough cars, eventually your company's going to be like, you're a terrible driver. You're a risk. We no longer want you within our deal. So, yeah, another interesting thing. Has anyone in statewide government been able to help? Shouldn't somebody be able to help? You would think a business owner reaches out. Well, Sheth said he reached out to Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who was running for governor, his office for help, but he said he didn't get any help. He noted the irony that if a customer complain to Ferguson's office, Bob Ferguson's office, Attorney General, about something that happens in his business. I get a letter in 2 days from the Attorney General's office saying, you need to fix this. But when it's a matter of criminal activity going on that Washington State has basically endorsed, yeah, you're going to have to work it out on your own. You're just going to have to figure it out. Can't really help you out here. Sorry about your businesses. Sorry they're all going under. Meanwhile, you've got budgets that are just bleeding out money because you don't have the tax revenue, because you got a bunch of businesses quitting and you've got a bunch of vacant commercial space. You got people working from home. You've got just this whole cycle of things going on. And this story here is just one example of, here is the impact for going down this soft on crime deal. This whole justice reform thing. Yeah. Defund the police thing. Now, Sheth is readying a dramatic move to protest the untenable business climate. Thanks to the crime crisis, he asks, why am I paying taxes? Yeah. So you don't get arrested. Yeah, right. If he's not offered even basic protections as a business owner, I mean, it makes sense, but to do that, you got to go down. You're all in. You're all in. I'll stop paying Washington state government any form of taxes, the small business owner said. I'm also denying collecting taxes on behalf of the government from the people. If paying taxes gives you security for your jobs, for your safety, for the basic infrastructure, basic services, if I'm not getting it, I think I do have a right to deny paying and collecting taxes. Yeah. But then Jason Rantz goes on to say, it'll make him a target. Yeah, of course it will. Now the government's on notice. Hey, this guy's not paying taxes. Plus, he's kind of pointing out the obvious, which is, all of our policies are not working out all that well. This whole justice reform and defunding the police and not having enough cops. Yeah, if we just ignore it long enough, these shenanigans will go away. Will they? No, they won't. I showed you the shootout on the street. You think that's going to go away? If they know that they can get away with that, just boom, crank off round after round after round, because why not? Nobody's going to catch you. Nobody's going to turn you in. And even if they do, what's going to happen? Are you really going to go to jail? Maybe overnight. Yeah. Whole thing, system's broken, right? System is broken. But I will not go down without a fight, the business owner says. Lawlessness, property crime. They're not doing anything. What am I supposed to do? I'm all ears. If you guys have any solutions, let me know, Sheth said. I don't want to do all this, but my hands are tied. I have a family to feed. I got 18 employees. They have families to feed. What can I do? You know what? I normally get to this point in the podcast and people are like, move out, leave Seattle. Well, yeah, but when you've got reputations staked, when you've got businesses that have repeat business coming in on the daily, it's not just that easy to just pick up and go. It's not easy to pick up families who don't have the money, the resources to relocate to another state. That's huge. People will hang on. Business owners will hang on for as long as they humanly can. Or they'll make a decision like this guy and stop paying taxes. I mean, he's getting some good PR out of this. Man, I would probably not go down that road of not paying taxes, because you're just going to put massive target on yourself and tell the government, hey, come after me. Come after me. It sounds ideal, and I hope that something comes of this for this business owner. But we've got business owners all over Seattle that are just like, hey, my business has been broken into 4 times because the criminals know that they can get away with it. So what are we doing? Nothing. We're just hanging out here in Seattle and Freeattle. And so this is one of the downsides. Seattle's got a lot of stuff going for it, but this kind of criminal activity and this area in particular is in North Seattle along Highway 99. We did that whole deal with solicitation of prostitution is, I forget the terminology, but the ladies going out and showing their wares. And by that, I mean wearing less than a small bathing suit by today's standards on a major public arterial is not uncommon. I mean, they're basically wearing underwear out there, literally showing their goods. And we have made that not a law, that not a crime, by saying, well, they're victims oftentimes, they're sex trafficked. And so we're going to let them go. We're going to try and go after the Johns. You got nothing. And so then the pimps know that they can come in. The gangs know that they can come in and do their thing. And that's what they're doing. They're doing their thing. And sometimes they fight it out with guns. Sometimes they break into businesses. And that's happening a lot. It's happening a lot in Seattle right now. You hear about these stories. So that's it. That's it for me on this one. I will keep you apprised of Sheth, the business owner, how this works out for him. I would love to be able to come back and say, oh yeah, things got squared away after that one. No, it's going to take a lot more than one business owner not paying taxes. But I admire his guts on the issue, right? I admire the stand he's taking. Would I personally do it? No. But I don't have, I'm not in his position either. I don't know what other pressures he's got going on. I don't know what loans he's got going on. There's all kinds of reasons people don't leave an area for business because they're so entrenched in doing that business in that location. So I hope the best for him. And, this is something we talk about all the time. Stop paying taxes. Yeah, it sounds great and it sounds ideal. But at the end of the day, that is not the solution. Not the solution. The solution is start fighting crime, start putting the bad guys in jail, start arresting people, start prosecuting them, get them off the streets. But we're not doing that. We're not doing that on a large scale. So this is what Seattle gets. That's it for me on this one. I'll see you on the next segment. Until then, bye for now.